Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going over my luxury makeup must-haves and essentials. I'm basically going over my luxury makeup starter kit that I would suggest to anyone who is starting out in the luxury makeup world. I just think that all the items I picked, they're essentials for me. They're great as a starting off point. I wanted to give myself a top 10 list, again, to not be overwhelming if you are starting out. And I wanted to have a price limit of under $100 just because I think that's important when you're starting out your luxury makeup collection. You obviously don't want to buy the most expensive thing. These are all products I love and totally recommend. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Before I get into it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video and leave your comments down below. And let's get started. I'm going to start off with foundations. I decided not to choose a face primer just because I don't think that's absolutely necessary for you to have as a luxury makeup collector. I think if you were going to start out, I would go with definitely foundations and products that are a bit more noticeable on the skin. And I do think when you are starting out in luxury beauty, choosing face products would probably be my #1 recommendation. I think that's a great place to start. I think when you spend a little bit more money on your foundation, concealer, and powder, it really shows, and it does make such a difference. I just think the quality does make a difference in my opinion. So the first on my list is the Surratt Dewdrop Foundation. So this is the one product that did push outside of the $100 limit that I set myself per product. This is 102 Canadian dollars, so obviously in the US it would be less expensive. And I highly suggest this as a luxury foundations to start out with because it's such a gorgeous light to medium coverage. It looks absolutely so skin-like on the skin, and it's beautiful. I love everything about this foundation. For me, this is long-lasting. It lasts all day, so I can wear it throughout my workday and never have to touch up, or I never have to worry about it fading awkwardly or separating. It's just such a stunning foundation. There isn't like highlighter in this, but there is some light reflecting particles that really trick the eye into leaving the skin look a little more blurred and perfected, but it perfects in a way where it's not adding more coverage versus like a fuller coverage foundation. This is just something I've talked about so many times. I absolutely love this foundation. I did want to kind of cheat my list a little bit and throw in another foundation. This is the Dior Air Flash Spray Foundation. This one I wanted to throw in just in case you do have oily skin. Maybe I wouldn't suggest the Surratt Dewdrop just because it's really good for my dry skin. I'm not sure how it would work on oily skin. This I would definitely suggest if you have, well, dry to oily skin. This works amazing on my dry skin as a more natural matte finish. It is so smoothing, so perfecting, and again, it's perfecting in a way where it's not adding a ton of coverage. This is a very buildable foundation as well, so you can apply just a light amount and get away with really light coverage, but you can also build it up. This mixes well into any other foundation if I want to mix my foundations, and this does increase the longevity. If, like, say I want to mix these two together, this will just make the Surratt Dewdrop a little more long wearing and also will add a bit of more of a mattifying effect. But this is just such a lovely foundation. The texture is so thin, so easy to use. You just spray it on your sponge and apply it onto the skin. It doesn't add any layers of heavy makeup at all because the texture is so thin. I love this formula. Like I said, such a long-wearing foundation. So I wanted to throw that one in there as well. I just think you can't go wrong with either of these foundations. Again, if you're dry, I'd probably pick this. If you're more normal to oily, I would definitely go for the Dior Air Flash. Moving on to the next product on my list. For concealer, I went with my favorite, so this actually is a favorite. This is the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. I wear mine in the shade 2 Neutral, and this is just such a wonderful concealer. This is also really good for days where I don't want to apply foundation. I can use this on my face, and it works just as well for my under eyes as it does on my face. So I really like that about this concealer. Usually I find concealers usually do better either under the eye or on the face, but this I can use all over. It's so nice. It has a really nice natural finish to it. I don't think it's like a dewy concealer by any means. It doesn't dry down completely, but it does leave, it's just such a beautiful skin-like effect. So I would say it's more of like a velvet finish. It's just so nice, and This is a really consistent concealer as well because I have actually used up a full one of these. This is a repurchase, and it stays consistent the whole time I use it. Sometimes I've noticed with other concealers that as they get older, I have to get rid of them before I'm done using the full product because the consistency of the product changes, but this doesn't. Such a nice concealer. Again, really long wearing. I would say it's probably a medium coverage, but I really like that for a concealer. I don't prefer a full coverage, and I don't like a concealer that's too drying. This is not drying on my under eyes at all. My under eyes always look nice and hydrated throughout the full day, so highly suggest this. And moving on to powder. This, again, is a product that I have talked about lots on my channel, but I would suggest if you're just starting your makeup collection, your luxury makeup collection, that the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, it's a skin perfecting micro powder. I wear mine in the shade 2 medium. I've obviously hit pan on this product. This is also something I've repurchased. I just love this powder. It is so great for setting my dry skin without leaving my skin feeling more dry, and it really is a perfecting powder. As soon as you apply it onto the skin, you will notice that like pore blurring effect onto your skin. It really does reduce the appearance of texture, and it's a powder that I can set my face with, and it doesn't feel heavy, and it doesn't feel really dry or cakey on my skin. It's just a really great powder. I would say there's maybe like a hint of coverage to it, but it's so slight, so I don't think it adds any coverage really, but this is just such a great powder. It's one that I constantly suggest to people, and I definitely think you would enjoy this powder if you were just starting your luxury makeup collection. Moving on to bronzer, this is the Gucci Éclat Soleil bronzing powder. I picked mine up in the shade 3, and this product is $81 Canadian. So again, it'd be a little cheaper in the States. I decided to go with this one because I really love this bronzer. Well, it's just an amazing bronzer in general. The formula is so amazing. The texture of this powder is so silky smooth. It's very velvety. It applies and blends onto the skin like a dream. And it definitely melds into the skin very beautifully. So it's not one of those formulas that's like a gel powder that's hard to pick up on your brush. You're going to pick up product really easily. This is super pigmented, but at the same time, it's very pigmented but very blendable on the skin. And I just think this is really nice. I think there's a soft sheen to it. Like there's definitely no shimmer or anything. Oh yeah, I just love the texture of this powder. It feels so silky smooth. There's maybe a slight sheen, but it does look pretty matte on the skin, but it is more matte bronzer that doesn't look drying at the skin at all. It definitely does not. But it's just really nice. And I also like to use this day to day, just like if I'm getting ready for work. I love to use this just as an eyeshadow. It's just very convenient. You can use it on your eyes and on your skin, and it's just such a gorgeous bronzer that I highly recommend. The blush I chose for this is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Blush. The shade I have is Coral. They have another pink shade, so you can either get the pink or the coral. They're very bright. It looks very obnoxious in the pan, but on the skin, it really melts in, and it just gives you a very gorgeous glow. So this is supposed to have like, it's almost like a mood ring for your face. It's supposed to have this technology in it that really adapts to your skin tone, and it adapts to like the moisture in your skin and all that. So it will give you a customized color. So it's going to look a little different on everyone. But because it is so bright, and again, it doesn't apply onto the skin this bright, it really does adapt to your skin tone. It just gives you such a pretty glow and really adds life back to your skin. I really love this formula. It's so nice. It's not overly pigmented, like super powdery, but it has a very soft sheen. So it just looks really nice on the skin. I love that brightening effect it gives to my skin. I just think this color is beautiful. This formula is really, really nice. Highly recommend this. And I also find this blush to be super long wearing. Usually blush is the first product to fade from your skin, but this lasts pretty much all day on me. It's just a great, great blush. If you haven't tried out this Dior formula, I would highly suggest it. So this one was a hard one because I absolutely love highlighters, but I had to go with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. So again, I chose a liquid illuminator because if you're just starting out your makeup collection, I think that having a product that you can use in different ways is really great. So I think it's just a great idea to have a multi-use product because again, you can use them in so many different ways. So I love this highlighter. specifically on top of the foundation as a highlighter. I have it on today and it just gives you such a gorgeous glow. It's nothing obnoxious. It's not too glittery. It really does look like your skin is just glowing. It looks so healthy and fresh. It just melds into the skin perfectly and gives the most natural glow. I also love this because, again, it's a multi-use product, so I could use this underneath my foundation, or if I wanted to, say, make the Dior Air Flash a little lighter in coverage or something, you can mix your foundation in with your liquid illuminator. You can also apply this on the body, like give you a little bit of glow on your shoulders and stuff like that, on your décolleté. It's just such a lovely product. And yeah, I had to throw this one in as my highlighter of choice if you are just starting out your collection. Highly recommend this. It's so, so amazing. I've talked about this product so many times on my channel, and I probably will talk about it again because I just love it that much. I just have one more complexion product that I want to mention. So I decided to mention the Guerlain Meteorites. I am mentioning this because I just think it honestly makes such a beautiful difference in how your makeup looks at the end of the day. So I don't use this as a powder. What this is basically there's little pearls of powder, and this has a very soft sheen to it. Again, it's not super glittery or anything like that, but the thing I love to do with this is use this as a finishing powder. So I will take a buffing brush at the end of my makeup application and just buff over everything with this powder. And what it does is it really blends all your products in together seamlessly, so you don't have like these harsh lines of where your bronzer was applied and your blush and your highlighter. Everything just gets buffed into the skin to give you a bit more of a natural appearance. It also adds such a beautiful glow to your skin, and it's a glow that's not fake in any way. It really just, I can't even describe it because in person is where you really see it, but it just adds this very soft glow to your skin. It adds that health back to your skin after you've applied some powder products, and it just is truly game-changing for me, this powder. So I had to mention this on my essentials, on my luxury makeup essential list, because I just think this is such a beautiful product. Just how it looks on the skin, specifically as a finishing powder, is amazing. So that is my finishing powder suggestion. I definitely wanted to mention an eyeshadow palette. Like I said, the majority of the products were going to be face products because I just think that if you're starting out your luxury makeup must-haves or essentials, I really think focusing on the skin is the most important thing. But of course, I had to mention an eyeshadow palette because there is something beautiful about luxury eyeshadows. They're just, the quality has just gotten so much better. And this is definitely my #1 suggestion for an eyeshadow palette that's more on the neutral side that you can wear for every day, but you can also glam it up for night. It's nothing too overwhelming. There's not all these different colors. This is just a gorgeous everyday palette that you can use for multiple different occasions. The formula in this palette is absolutely amazing. Super pigmented, super blendable. I think she did a really good job with choosing these colors. I just love all the mattes. I love the shimmers. I've actually hit pan on 2 of the shades. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. I didn't even say what it was. The Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette. She obviously, Charlotte Tilbury, she labels her shades so you can easily work in sections. Obviously, you can mix and match with all these colors. But this is just definitely one of the best purchases that I ever made because I constantly get use out of this palette. I use this palette for sure at least 1 time a week, and I do try and alternate my makeup, but this is a palette that I miss when I don't use it. I just absolutely love the formula. I love the quality of these shadows. This is definitely what I would suggest for my luxury makeup essentials list. I also decided to include an eyeshadow topper just because I think these are really great for a one and done look, or if you did want to like use a palette like this, you can just finish off the look with one. So I would choose a color that really speaks to you. But the formula I decided to talk about is the Chantecaille Luminescent eye shades. I won't go on about this too much because I talk about these enough, but these are just so luxurious. They're gorgeous shadows. They're ultra pigmented, so smooth and blendable. They just give such a beautiful gilt and a little glow to your eyes without being obnoxiously sparkly. There is definitely glitter in there, but it's very subdued. It's very sophisticated glitter and just looks absolutely lovely. So again, I like to use these as one and dones. So super simple. Or I like to kind of glam it up and use more of a palette like this if I am going out for dinner or for a date or something like that. I just think this is such an amazing product. And again, They have lots of different shades, so I would just pick a shade that that speaks to you. I just love the lion shade because I tend to go for more neutral, everyday shades. That's just my preference. And yeah, it's just a gorgeous golden bronze. It's absolutely one of my, if not my number one eyeshadow. So that is definitely my pick for a single shadow. And then finally, I'm finishing off with the lips. So the 10th and final item for my luxury makeup must-haves and essentials is the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash. This is the shade that I have in Boy. It's just a great neutral beige, basically. It's a very nice nude. It's not overly pink or beige or brown. It's just a perfect nude. So why I chose this formula is because I actually don't like the feeling of lipstick, really. I like something that's very hydrating, and I never want my lips to feel drying as the day goes on. I was debating between choosing a lip liner just because usually I just apply a lip liner and then apply this over top or a gloss over top. But I think this is a good suggestion because not everyone wears lip liner, and this is just such a great touch-up product. Definitely, this is not going to last you 8 hours. This will probably last you an hour and you're going to have to reapply. But the formula is just so luxurious. It feels amazing on your lips. You will never feel like your lips are dry with this product. And it just gives such a subtle tint to the lips that I just find very flattering. I just think it's a really nice formula. I don't like my lips to be really opaque and covered in color. That's just not a look I really like. I kind of like my lips to look a little more worn in and just hydrated. So this formula is perfect for me. It's what I carry in my bag with me to, again, touch up, and it feels very comfortable, and you can just reapply this without even looking in a mirror. So I love that about this product. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, that is my top 10 list, I guess, for my best luxury makeup starter kit or my luxury makeup must-haves. These are just items that I absolutely recommend to anyone. I think they'd be a great place to start out if you are just starting your luxury makeup collection. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, let me know down below. Leave your comments, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in my next video.